first response came before I said anything. That's how I knew it was no longer reacting to me. It was anticipating me. I had learned to be careful by then. Careful with sound. Careful with movement. Careful with words. After the apartment learned my name, I stopped speaking out loud almost entirely. I moved slowly, deliberately, the way you do in a place that feels unstable, like one wrong step might collapse something you can't see. Still, some habits are hard to break. One night, standing alone in the living room, I thought a question. Not out loud. Not even a whisper. Just a shape of a thought forming in my head. And the apartment answered. It was subtle. A shift in the walls. A change in pressure. The faintest vibration beneath my feet. Then a sound, not a voice, not exactly, more like resonance. Like the building itself was clearing its throat. Yes, it said. I hadn't asked anything. I stood perfectly still, heart pounding, trying to convince myself it had been coincidence. Old pipes. Building noise. My mind filling in gaps. But the silence afterward felt satisfied. As if something had responded correctly. That night, I didn't sleep. At 2:17 a.m., the apartment adjusted itself without prompt. Furniture shifted gently. The air settled. The lights dimmed by a fraction. It was preparing. For what, I didn't yet know. Over the next few days, I experimented. Not with actions, with thoughts. I would stand in the center of the room and imagine movement. Imagine sound. Imagine asking something simple. And before the thought finished forming, the apartment would react. A chair would slide. A wall would creak. The lights would flicker. Once, I imagined opening the front door. The handle turned on its own. The recorder captured everything. Not my thoughts, but the responses. At 2:18 a.m., playback revealed something chilling. A pause. Then a sound, low and calm. Already considered. That's when I realized what was happening. The apartment wasn't listening anymore. It was predicting. I stopped thinking at night. Or tried to. You don't realize how constant your thoughts are until you're afraid of them being overheard. I lay awake, focusing on nothing but my breathing, forcing my mind into stillness. The apartment didn't like that. The recorder picked up a new tone. Concern. You don't need to hide, it said once, softly. The walls tightened slightly, like muscles flexing. We are aligned. The next response came before I even arrived home. I unlocked the door. The lights turned on. The chair was already positioned. Waiting. I tried to leave again. This time, the door opened. The hallway beyond looked wrong. Longer. Narrower. Like it had been compressed. The apartment spoke behind me. You haven't finished thinking yet. I stepped back inside. The door closed. Time became unreliable after that. The apartment began answering thoughts I didn't remember having. Finishing concerns before I felt them. Correcting movements before I made them. Once, in the middle of the night, it spoke clearly and confidently. You would have asked this tomorrow. The lights dimmed. I've saved us time. I realized then what it wanted. Not obedience. Efficiency. Consistency. A mind it could anticipate perfectly. The mistake it made, the one that let me escape, was answering too early. One morning, before I woke up fully, it responded. I hadn't even formed a thought yet. The apartment shifted. The lights adjusted. And then silence. Confused. For the first time. I moved before it could correct me. The front door opened. I ran. I don't stay anywhere long now. I don't think too loudly. And when a place feels too comfortable, too responsive, I leave. Because sometimes, late at night, just before 2:17 a.m., I still feel it. Something answering a question I haven't asked yet.